Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is have some adventures. Well, a lot of my talks have to do with always doing things to make yourself feel better and improve your memories, improve your memory bank so you have more things to think about. And that will help you to feel good about your life and to be more appreciative and have the gratitude. And part of having good memories is some adventure. And the adventures may take the form of real wild fun, the kind of fun that some people don't want you to have. But you have to decide what kind of fun you want you to have, right? And it may include some wild fun. Some stuff that your mother doesn't want you to do, the things your wife doesn't want you to do, the things that society doesn't want you to do as a man. It may include that. And for me, it certainly does. My best memories are some extreme, wild times. And this can all be defined by you. I did some, let's say, wilder sports when I was a younger man, and truthfully now that really doesn't appeal to me that much. For example, skiing can be pretty wild, right? It's your breakneck speed down a mountain, but truthfully I haven't done it in more than 25 years, so that doesn't appeal to me, getting hurt to ski. But for you, skiing might be that wild fun that you need, that wild adventure that you need. Another one that a lot of men love is hunting. There's a built-in danger to hunting because you're carrying a gun, right? And you're trying to kill an animal with it. But it can be very adventurous. It can be very wild. There's a lot of camaraderie based around it, and plus there's a lot of alone time, getting in the woods and in the wilderness, kind of by yourself. It's an adventure. It's the whole thing about it is venturesome. So if you like to do that, if it's on your list, I did a lot of hunting back when I was a teenager and early 20s, and I never was very good at the hunting part, the actual shooting of an animal. But I still liked being out in the woods, sometimes getting kind of lost and trying to find my way back. It was kind of an adventure. And just, you got an excuse to be outside all day in kind of punky weather. It's not like a nice day or anything. And it's fun. It's an adventure. I've done like some boating or hiking. In 2016, I went out west on a vacation by myself, so that was an adventure. The first time I'd ever gone anywhere alone by myself, and everything was like an adventure. And it was so fun doing everything that I wanted to do by myself, and I pushed myself physically. I wasn't in as good a shape then as I am now. And I pushed myself on these real rigorous hikes. Maybe somebody on the outside would say, hey, you look like you're going to have a heart attack out there. But I knew I wasn't. I knew I had the capacity to walk and all of that. It's just, when you're in the mountains, when you're hiking, if you make a misstep, you could fall 1,000 feet or more. Well, that's an adventure. That gets your heart racing. That gets you going. That makes you feel alive. And it's provided me an enormous amount of memory bank for now and moving into the future. Adventure. That was adventuresome. I do talk quite a bit about going out on the town, right? Weekend evenings, Friday, Saturday nights, going out, having some drinks, meeting up with people, getting a little bit rowdy, getting a little bit loud, doing stuff that other people might not agree with, right? They're going to say, why are you guys being that way? Why are you behaving so wild? They'd say, grow up. And I'm saying, well, I'm 50 some years old. I don't have that much more time to have fun, right? So I'm going to have it now. And to tell the truth, some of my best times have been spent drinking heavily with my good friends, and even with people I barely know, and then sometimes by myself, and then you meet up with people, and I hate to admit, but that's like the best memories are doing that kind of wild stuff, getting a little bit crazy, having some drinks, going a little bit nuts in the bars and the nightclubs and the taverns and the parties. And sometimes you're with, let's say, like-minded people at the time, and it's that party atmosphere, and everybody's having fun, and you're laughing and joking, and everything seems like better, and you'll remember that stuff fondly. Now, of course, if you can let drinking can certainly overwhelm your life and spiral it down into a meaningless piece of garbage. So don't do that. But it can also raise your life up to have enormous amounts of fun in a very short time. And that's the part that I like about it. The other part about adventures is you want to try to be more bold, right? And boldness would mean chatting with strangers, and especially the opposite sex. You're going to go out and you're going to talk to girls, and you're going to do stuff, and you're going to be a little bit or a lot of bit more bold with them. You're going to say things in the evening when you're both drinking that you probably wouldn't say if you were at work. I mean, you're gonna do this in a playful, flirtatious, gentle, maybe even genteel manner. I'm not saying to be a boorish, terrible guy. I'm saying to be to be a friendly, bold, adventurous guy. I hope you can kind of see the difference. But that's the kind of stuff that will make the biggest impact in raising the quality of your life, is doing these bold things. When you can go out and you can meet a girl tonight and be doing things with her physically tonight, you're going to remember that as an adventure the rest of your life, right? So you want to maybe stack up some of those experiences and boldly try to do that. It isn't easy, right? Nowadays, there's a lot of problems in that regard. So if you try to do that kind of adventure, you're going to have to be smart about it. Don't go too far. Gentle, genteel, not a bore, not pushy, but bold, talkative, friendly, joke around in a flirtatious manner. This is the kind of stuff that you'll remember. You'll even think about it if you fail, meaning you try all that with who you think is the girl of your dreams, and she doesn't respond, shoots you down, gives you the cold shoulder, says, I'm good, gives you the back, gives you the hand. Well, that's just not that big of a deal, is it? You're going to kind of, maybe you laugh about that kind of thing, right? If you can laugh about that, you're going to be able to make it through everything. Now, certainly, if you know about my story, if you're reading about my book, Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with a 3-Step System, dealing with the enormous problems I dealt with my wife, just this little stuff with meeting people is like no big deal. It's like chewing a fly off of a cake. It it isn't that big of a deal because I've gone through an enormously difficult situation. So I've got that on you, or that my life was so terrible that this kind of stuff isn't that big of a deal to me. But I had to go through that. But I think you could just make the case that having those adventures and being more bold is going to up your life. I did a lot of this bold stuff back before I got married. I was always pushing to try to have that kind of fun. And me and my buddies, we would go out on the town and, raise a lot of heck and just had a grand old time. And we'd talk to the girls, chat them up, and try to get somewhere. And sometimes we would, and sometimes we wouldn't. And usually we wouldn't. Usually you don't, but you won't if you don't try. So the average of doing nothing is always 0. So you got to be trying, and that's where the adventure comes in, is the trying and in the doing of it. So give that idea some thought. You're going to want to have plenty of adventures in your life of whatever sort makes the most sense to you, and you want to kind of keep pushing yourself to have adventures. You'll find that the more adventures you have, the better your life is going to be. You're creating this enormous memory bank you're saying to yourself, as I'm a bold person, I'm going to have an adventure. Let's say, for example, last year I decided to go to a trip to a foreign country on one day, and I was in the foreign country the next, right? That's like a bold adventure. I didn't plan something for months or weeks. It was one day, and I was there. And that's the kind of adventurous life that's possible if you push yourself and decide, I want to be an adventurous guy. I'm going to do adventurous things. I'm going to keep stacking this adventures up, my experiences up, and then you can look back and say, wow, that is something else. I can't believe I did that. I'm so glad I did. So give that idea some thought. Have more adventure in your life. All for now.